So I wasn't able to be a part of this conversation when it was happening earlier in the week, but I want to point one thing out about this whole situation with MSNBC and Joy-Ann Reid's firing. I want you to not forget this war on DEI. And Joy-Ann Reid wasn't the only one who was fired from MSNBC. And when you think about those who were fired from MSNBC, who had shows with MSNBC, there's no way that you cannot think that MSNBC is now a participant of the war against DEI. Because when you think about how Republican politicians and Republicans and people on the right, when you think about how they have taken the term DEI and made it into something other than what DEI actually stands for, this right here is the face of DEI. Jonathan Capehart, another one, a black man who had a show on MSNBC and was fired. This is the face of DEI. Katie Fang, she's the face of DEI. She was also fired by MSNBC and her show was canceled. Forgive me, I don't know his name. I know his face. But I do believe he is a Muslim man who also had a weekend show on MSNBC. If he's not Muslim, y'all can correct me down in the comment section. But he was also fired, and his show was also canceled. This is the face of DEI. Just so y'all know, Alex Wagner, she was fired. She lost her show because MSNBC brought back Rachel Maddow to 5 days a week, and they put her on special assignment for reporting in regards to the White House. But when all of the other black and brown people got fired, I'm hearing she got fired as well. If that's not true, y'all let me know down in the comments. Lester Holt, we've been watching Lester Holt for decades. He retired. I'm pretty sure he was allowed to retire. The alternative was him being fired. He's the face of DEI. So when you look at all of those who lost their shows or were fired, this is what the right, when they hear DEI, this is what they see. Be on the lookout. I've also heard that he wasn't really fired, that his show was canceled, and he will be co-hosting on another show. We'll see. But he was fired as the lead for his own show. But his show was canceled. He is no longer the lead for his own show. But again, this is what the right, this is what the racists, the loud mouths, the hateful people on the right, the Republicans on the right, when they hear DEI, this is what they see. And there is a war on DEI. And if you are smart, you will know that the term DEI is in replacement for the term black people. So when you think about a war on DEI, it's a war on black and brown people. Yeah, when they think about DEI, they don't think white lesbian woman. They don't think white woman. They solely think black and brown people are handed positions and white people are left out in the cold. And so when I saw this, Rachel Maddow staffers to be laid off as part of MSNBC production cuts, no way would they associate Rachel Maddow with DEI, a white lesbian woman. But those of us who are educated and clued in, we know white women were the biggest beneficiaries of DEI and affirmative action. I promise you, Rachel Maddow is clear. Rachel Maddow is very clear about this oppressive system, this racist system, and I love Rachel Maddow because she has always stood for what is right. So when she did this, when she said this,
a bigger programming change is at 7 p.m., 7 p.m. Eastern, where Joy Reid's show, The Readout, ended tonight. And Joy is not taking a different job in the network. She is leaving the network altogether. And that is very, very, very hard to take. I am 51 years old. I have been gainfully employed since I was 12. And I have had so many different kinds of jobs, you wouldn't believe me if I told you. But in all of the jobs I have had, in all of the years I have been alive, there is no colleague for whom I have had more affection and more respect than Joy Reid. I love everything about her. I have learned so much from her. I have so much more to learn from her. I do not want to lose her as a colleague here at MSNBC. And personally, I think it is a bad mistake to let her walk out the door. It is not my call, and I understand that, but that's what I think. I will tell you, it is also unnerving to see that on a network where we've got two non-white hosts in primetime, both of our non-white hosts in primetime are losing their shows, as is Katie Fang on the weekend. And that feels worse than bad, no matter who replaces them. That feels indefensible, and I do not defend it. But there's just one other piece of it that you should know. From your side of the TV screen, you will mostly see changes in terms of who's in the anchor chair. And actually, everybody who's going to be in anchor chairs from here on out are great colleagues and great at what they do, and you are not going to be disappointed in who's on our air and what you're going to be seeing. But one thing you cannot necessarily see is that the people who get our shows on the air, they're really being put through the ringer. Dozens of producers and staffers, including some who are among the most experienced and most talented and most specialist producers in the building, are facing being laid off. They're being invited to reapply for new jobs. That has never happened at this scale in this way before when it comes to programming changes, presumably because it's not the right way to treat people, and it's inefficient, and it's unnecessary, and it kind of drops the bottom out of whether or not people feel like this is a good place to work, and so we don't generally do things that way. Maybe all of our folks, including most of the people who are getting this very show on the air right now, maybe they will all get new jobs here, and I hope they do, but in the meantime, being put in this kind of limbo, the anxiety and the discombobulation is off the charts at a time when this job already is extra stressful and difficult. It is not news for me to tell you that the press and freedom of the press are under attack in a way that is really, it's a big deal for our country. It's very visceral for us here. I know that the business of the press is not an easy thing, and I know that no job is forever. But I think I'm safe in saying for all of us anchors who you know through the TV, please know that what pains us the most is not what happens to us. It is what happens to our coworkers on whom we depend and who you don't necessarily know, but we respect and love them and depend on them. And did I mention we respect them? This is a difficult time in the news business, but it does not need to be this difficult. We welcome new voices to this place and some familiar voices to new hours. It's going to be great, honestly, and we want to grow and succeed and reach more people than ever and be resilient and stay here forever. I also believe, and I bet you believe, that the way to get there is by treating people well. Finding good people, good colleagues, doing good work with them, and then having their back. That we could do a lot better on. A lot better. I'll be right back.
I believe Rachel Maddow's decision to support Joy Reid and to call out her network is the reason why she's dealing with this now. White women, this is the type of activism and allyship we need. I believe that all of you white women out there on social media, I believe this is the type of activism and allyship that you think you bring. It's not. Rachel Maddow and what she just did, that's a rarity. You don't bring this type of energy. Shout out to Rachel Maddow. If MSNBC lets Rachel Maddow go, that would be the final nail in the coffin. They would not be hurting Rachel Maddow, just like they are not hurting Joy Reid. They would be hurting themselves. Them letting Rachel Maddow go, that would be the final nail in the coffin. And does anybody else find it suspicious that they let all of those black and brown people go who call out Donald Trump and the MAGA nuts on the right and all of the law breaking? They dig down deep and call it all out. And yet Joe Scarborough and Mika Brzezinski still have their show. Katie Turr still has her show. They're giving Jen Psaki 2 hours. Yeah, I told y'all I stopped watching MSNBC the day after their news coverage, after the debate between Donald Trump and Joe Biden. I haven't watched MSNBC since then. I would go over to YouTube and periodically watch commentary from Joy Reid, commentary from Lawrence O'Donnell, commentary from Rachel Maddow. Those are the only 3 that I was really watching. I would watch some of the commentary from Michael Steele, Simone Sanders, and Alicia Mendez. But I would watch it by way of clips out on social media and the commentary over there on YouTube. I stopped religiously watching MSNBC the day after that crazy ass news coverage from that debate. Now there's a full-on boycott against MSNBC. But I guarantee you people will still watch Rachel Maddow. Me, I'm not. I'll catch Rachel Maddow's clips out on social media or over on the YouTube. Yeah, turn the TV off.